And welcome everybody, it is JR here at Crutchfield and we are live on YouTube and Facebook. Welcome to Crutchfield Live, it's episode number 10. We've been doing this every 2 weeks for a good while now and we are pretty excited about a pretty great show for you here today. We're actually going to be giving some stuff away on Crutchfield Live in the next couple episodes, so we got details on that coming up here later in the show, so stay tuned for that. As usual, we would love to hear from you while you're there watching us. Give us some comments, questions, feedback. We'd love to hear from you while we're doing this. We'd love to answer your questions if you have anything related to what we're talking about today. So what are we talking about today? Some headphones. We've got some really nice headphones right here on the table. We have an article that is coming out in our catalog. It'll be online soon that Jeff has written about some of our best audiophile grade headphones. And we are going to talk to Jeff about why he chose these headphones. So that's coming up soon. We're also going to do an employee show and tell. We're going to show an employee and tell you about them, and that person's going to tell you about the gear they purchased and installed in their house and why they chose it and how they like to use it. So it's kind of like what we do on Crutchfield, the podcast. We have access to some of the coolest stuff on the planet, and what gear do we purchase and bring home and use on a daily basis, and why did we choose it, and how much do we love it? So we're going to talk to Phillip about his home audio system. We're going to talk about the Bose Flex, this portable Bluetooth speaker that we have here on the table with us, and that's actually the product we're going to be giving away in an upcoming episode, so stay tuned for details about how to get entered into that sweepstakes. And we also have a poll question today that relates directly to these headphones you see here. In today's world, people seem to have a lot of headphones. We need headphones for working out, for riding on airplanes, for going for walks in the park, for hanging out at home, for critical music listening. And now more than ever, people have more pairs of headphones than we've ever had. So the question is, how many pairs of headphones do you own? You might own none. Maybe you are that person. Maybe you just have one pair and that's all you need. Maybe you have two or more. That would be the boat I fall into because I've got somewhere in the neighborhood of 8 or 9 pairs of headphones for all sorts of different applications. Maybe you have so many you've lost count. So we're going to throw that poll up in the chat on Facebook and YouTube. The poll will be in the chat on YouTube and in the comment section on Facebook. So please give us your answers there. We'll come back to that when we're talking to Jeff about headphones. But first, the big topic, my favorite topic. I'm taking over this first segment of the show because I want to circle back to something we have talked about on previous Crutchfield Lives that a lot of people showed a lot of interest in, and that would be the Sony Mobile ES head unit with a big floating screen. It's called the XAV-9500ES. You might remember it from a previous episode. Also, we did a product spotlight video where I sort of talked about it for 10 or 15 minutes and showed off all the things it does. And we put that on our product page on the Crutchfield.com as well as on our YouTube channel. And that video seems to have gained a lot of traction. Over 320,000 views of that video alone. So clearly people are interested in a nice, high-end Sony head unit with a big, beautiful touchscreen. And I have one. I actually got one. That one that we had in the video is now physically in my car. And I want to tell you what it's like. I've been driving around with that stereo now for about a week and a half, and so I can tell you how much I love it. And we've got some footage of that radio in my car, and I do absolutely love it. First off, it's wireless CarPlay. That's one of my favorite things about it. When I get in, I don't have to plug my phone in every single time I get in the car to have it work with CarPlay on the stereo. I used to have to do that with my factory radio, which was no problem on long drives, but on short drives, just driving to work or driving to the store, I didn't want to plug the phone in every single time. Now I can get in and leave the phone in my pocket and it just appears Apple CarPlay wirelessly right there on the screen, and that is fantastic. One of my favorite things about it. Another thing I love is how great it sounds. It really fixed some problems I was having with the audio in my car. Now, I already installed a 5-channel amp, kicker component speakers in the front, 2-way speakers in the back doors, and a 5-channel and a subwoofer in the back of my car. So my system sounded pretty good, but it was all getting signal from that factory radio in my Subaru Crosstrek, which was doing some funky things. It's not a great head unit as far as audio quality goes. It rolls off the bass at higher volumes. It processes things. Those front tweeters were sounding a little squeaky. That's a new word. Feel free to use it. It was just a little rough. And we basically troubleshooted it. Is that also a new word? We determined that the problem really was the source unit, the radio itself. So replacing the radio was the thing to do, which is a little bit of a challenge in my car. It's a Subaru with like all the fancy stuff. It had Subaru StarLink, and that actually involves a separate module there with the radio that has to be kept in the car even when the radio is replaced. So we had to like find a place to put that in the dash so that the car can communicate with the internet. I can use remote start from my cell phone app, things like that. So Starlink wanted that to keep working. We had to use an iDataLink Maestro OEM interface, which is basically it's a magical small black box. It's a computer that makes the computer in the car talk to the computer in my new radio so that they all work together. And that is available for my car. So we installed that along with the Sony radio, and now the amplifier and the speakers are not getting signal from a kind of low-end factory radio, low-end sound quality-wise. It's now getting strong preamp level signal from the 5-volt 6-channel preamp outputs on the back of this Sony radio. So the output of the radio going into the amp significantly better, and it's super clean. There's no funky processing like they have in the factory radios to account for those cheap speakers that come with cars. And that squeechy sound, that squealing nastiness I was hearing on my tweeters in some songs, completely gone. I can turn it up significantly louder with zero distortion. Just the fact that it's a nice high-end head unit makes all of that possible. And on top of that, it also has the ability to play high-res music files. And I have a nice little USB memory stick with about 50 gigs of music on it. And I've been going through that, listening to Alison Krauss, Daft Punk, Buddy Holly, a whole bunch of stuff. And I have done some comparisons where I'm listening to the high-res file and then I switch and I listen to the same song on Spotify from my phone through CarPlay. And it sounds fine on CarPlay. It's super convenient to use Spotify. That is my go-to music source. But if I want to listen to something and have it sound as good as it can possibly sound, I'm going to go to that USB memory stick and play something in like a FLAC file. And the difference, it really is, in a system that I think sounds pretty great most of the time, when I go to high res, it's like taking a blanket off all of the speakers, and it opens it up, and it gets spacious and big, and it's more dynamic, and it really, really is impressive. So the sound quality on this Sony is excellent. I see Rick Dodson is watching, saying, I love Sony. Sam Online says, huge screen. Absolutely. I've had Sony radios in several vehicles going all the way back to when I started at Crutchfield. My second stereo I ever installed was a nice Sony Mobile ES head unit, and I had a similar experience then with the improvement in sound quality over the radio I had previously. So Sony car stereos and I go way back. I couldn't be happier to have it in my car. I do want to give you some things that maybe I don't love as much about it as I was hoping. When we put the video out, when we talked about it on Crutchfield Live, several people mentioned that it doesn't have a volume knob on it. And you know what? I do kind of miss the volume knob. That's the one thing about the factory radio, is it had an easily accessible, easy to turn volume knob, and this radio just doesn't have one. And I do kind of miss that. Now, the steering wheel controls work well with the new radio. The new radio has little hideaway sort of buttons right on the front of it. They're like hidden in the bezel, and you can hit that to mute really quick and go to the home screen. So, and it's got hard-coded buttons on the top for volume and such. So it's easy to control track forward and track back, volume up and down with the buttons provided, plus my steering wheel. I still miss the volume knob. So anybody that criticized this Sony for not having a volume knob, I feel you. If I could get Sony to go back in time and redesign this thing, I would make them put a volume knob on it. We have another comment from Rick Dodson. I had a full Sony Explode system in my 1993 Accord. Fantastic. Yeah, the Sony's been making great stereos for quite a long time. This is the stereo that is in my car that you see in this picture right here. It's actually that one. The one we took a picture of to put on our catalog is the one in my car. Another thing about it that is maybe ever so slightly less than perfect, this really isn't a video head unit, meaning it's not currently able to play any video files, right? There's no disc player, so no DVDs or anything. And even if you plug a USB memory stick in, it only plays audio files, not video. So this is not for that person that wants to be able to, you know, park their car and watch a movie or play a video game or something. This just doesn't do that. And that's fine for me. I don't need it to do that. I will say that my factory backup camera could look a little sharper on it. It's a big screen and it looks fine, but it could look a little bit better. And I've actually talked to the folks at Sony. They've acknowledged that, yeah, it could look a little better. But the focus of this stereo is audio performance. And it absolutely shines at doing that. Whether I'm playing Spotify or high-res stuff, I do listen to my Sirius XM app there. Sirius sounds better when you're using streaming over the internet than it does when you're getting it from the satellite. So that sounds fantastic. It also looks incredibly elegant and it's huge. You know, having it there in the dash, I have it stick out a little bit and it's closer to me with that bigger touchscreen. So all of the buttons on it are easier to find and hit while I'm driving. I could literally go on talking about this stereo for probably the next 20 minutes. I absolutely love it. And I just wanted to sort of close that loop. You know, we've talked about it here on live. We did the video on it. There's a lot of people very interested in it. And I absolutely love it in my car. So I just wanted to let you know that's what happened to the stereo we featured on the live a few months back. And so there you go. It's good to work at Crutchfield. Let me just tell you that. And that's all I have to say about the Sony XAV-9500ES. We are going to switch gears completely and we're going to bring in a special guest, our first guest of the day, Dylan. You want to come on in? Dylan is one of our advisors. How's it going, Dylan?
Hey, good to see you.
Good to see you again. You've been doing more and more videos as of late.
Yes.
You've been on live a couple times now. And you are here today because you got to take home the Bose Flex. Is that right?
That's right. I did.
And what did you think of it?
I was thoroughly impressed. I've really always loved the JBL Bluetooth speakers, like specifically like the Charge series speakers, and the Flex. I didn't know what to expect, but I was very impressed. Very large sound, very room filling. More so than I guess I expected. If I expected anything at all, very much like a Charge, I didn't want to give it up.
Yeah, I mean, JBL is a big player in the Bluetooth speaker market. So is Bose, though. They've been doing it for quite a while.
Yeah.
When I think of Bose Bluetooth speakers, I think of, they make some that are very elegant. They look beautiful. They sound significantly bigger than they look, right? And they now make a lot of rugged Bluetooth speakers as well. And this one's pretty rugged, right?
Oh, yeah. It's totally rugged. In fact, you can basically drop it in water. There's limitations on that, but it can be submerged in water. It holds up against mud. You got a steel grill that's powder coated, like the undercarriage of cars if you're going to get them treated for winter and such. It's legit, and I didn't abuse it or anything, but I carried it around a lot of places, and it looked like it was brand new out of the box after like a week.
And so you got to sort of hang out with it for like a week, right?
Yeah.
Take it home. What type of music did you play on it, and how do you play music? Is it from Spotify? Like, what do you use on your phone to play music to your speaker?
Yeah, so primarily Spotify, but I also use Tidal, and Bluetooth. Bluetooth is the only way that you can connect and play music through the Bose Flex, and that was sufficient for me. You got about 33 feet of range. But it's so portable. If you have to pick it up and take it from room to room or place to place, it's like this little loop. Put your finger through the loop, grab it. It's light, but it'll follow you around, and it's a really great speaker to have on hand.
It's available in 3 colors. The color you see on your screen now, is that stone gray? Do I have that right? It's stone gray,
That's right.
which is why we put it on a stone in that shot.
I understand.
Our video guys are really good at what they do.
That's professional.
And then you've got the, is that more like a white and a black pretty much?
Well, Bose has named this White Smoke.
White
and
Smoke.
Then black.
And then black. So 3 different colors to choose from. You had it at home for a week, so Bluetooth from Spotify and Tidal. And you mentioned the grill on the front of it. And in addition to that, you also did some grilling while you had the Bose speakers, right?
Yeah, that was awesome, that transition.
You like that? You like what
incredible.
I did there?
Oh, yes.
I'm the master
yes.
of the segues.
Incredible. Yes, I sure did. In fact, this one was the one I had at home. I miss it.
It's like the perfect backyard speaker.
Oh, yeah.
And you guys were, grilling out? And you are a steak aficionado? Like, you're pretty good at grilling steaks from what I hear?
I am. It's going to be a lifetime journey. I am a steak enthusiast. I would say aficionado is something I'll graduate to, hopefully, eventually. But yes, I love learning about steak and cooking it and perfecting my art. Oh,
Look at
if
that.
that's up on the screen.
Your
steaks.
Yeah.
So I know my boyfriend had a hand in that actually, but
what are you seasoning them with there?
So he went ahead and went for the sriracha, just pre-grill sriracha. A lot of it's going to grill off, but you can get that little kick sometimes, which is nice.
Little salt and pepper.
Salt and pepper. Yep, and that is pretty much it. I mean, he put some herbs on there too, but. And then, basically you find a good steak, find a good cut of steak, season it with salt and pepper. That's almost all you ever have to do. Just cook it over charcoal, which is what we did, and to a medium
and
rare.
voila.
Voila.
Look at that.
There it is. That is a lovely group of steaks, if I do say so myself. Yep, those are some ribeyes, and they were about medium rare. They all turned out great. Simple. And yes, the White Smoke Bose Flex was my companion.
White Smoke. Why didn't I think of that tie into the grill? That's
Smoke
fantastic.
grill. I mean, this is almost as if I did it on purpose. But yeah, I had that out there playing music while I was grilling and having a good time.
So favorite backyard barbecue music? Do you have a playlist you go to? What do you like to listen to?
If I put on like a Spotify radio station, often my go-to will be country if it just fits the mood. Because, I don't know, it just seems like it does. And that was what I had going on that night. But otherwise, it would be like a James Taylor radio or do some 90s alt-rock radio. It's just, I hop from genre to genre.
Yeah.
And, but at the moment, it felt appropriate to throw those steaks on the grill, listening to some old George Strait and Toby Keith and such.
Can't go wrong there.
No.
I mean, they probably have songs about throwing steaks on the grill, right?
Yeah, I think some of those guys get down with that sort of thing.
Part of the reason we wanted to talk about these Bose speakers with you today was obviously because you've had a chance to take them home and listen to them,
Yep.
But also because we're going to give some away.
Yes.
Are you familiar with this concept?
I am. This is a unique privilege to be a part of this giveaway.
We have been working with the powers that be here at Crutchfield to be able to give something away on Crutchfield Live. Partly because obviously we think more people might listen if we do that. Clearly we want more people watching.
Yep.
And also because we can. We have some. We have 4 of these Bose Flex speakers in black that we will be giving away. It's a sweepstakes. I want to cut over to some comments first. Inez Osgore says, ahoy.
Ahoy.
Rebecca says, Dylan makes the best steaks ever. Do you know Rebecca?
I think that name rings a bell.
You do?
That
Yeah.
might be somebody I know personally.
Excellent. Going back to the Sony real quick, Rick Dodson said Amazon has on-volume knobs. Add-on volume knobs. I got one for my touchscreen, so I can't vouch for how well they work. I have not tried one with the Sony, but yeah, there you go. So, 4 Bose Flex speakers going to be given away on a future episode. So you're finding out about it first, right here, right now. We've not announced this anywhere else yet. Here's how it works. The sweepstakes starts on March 24th, which is tomorrow. Do I have that right, everybody? Starts tomorrow? Yeah, so the thing I wrote said tomorrow. It's probably my mistake. It starts today. That would make sense,
Today's
right?
the
That
day.
it would start the day where you announce it. And it ends April 21st. Do I have that date right, everybody? 21st, right, is the last day. And that is 2 episodes from now, if I'm not mistaken. Thursday, April 21st. That's when the sweepstake ends. Sweepstakes. A third tie-in to this? What?
There's look at some steaks in a minute. It's just all in your head. It's
Those were-
grills, steaks, smoke.
Yes.
Yes. Sweeps.
It's like we planned it. So here's how to get entered. There will be a link in the chat here on YouTube. I'm not 100% sure our Facebook live stream is actually working, but at some point it's going to be available on Facebook in the comment section somewhere there. So you can enter that now. There's a link coming at you in the chat in the very near future that will take you to the page where you can get entered into the sweepstakes. We will announce the winner on the show on April 21st. So you have up until, I think, 4:15 on April 21st Eastern time. So basically we're going to go live that day, and that'll be your last chance to get entered into the drawing. If you didn't know about it and you do find out about it that day, you can get entered right then and there. We cut it off at 4:15. Our people in the background compile the list and pick winners at random, and we will announce those winners on Crutchfield Live at the end of that show on April 21st.
That's exciting.
Yeah.
Yes.
Right? Now check this out. If you're watching the next episode of this show on April 7th, so that's the show between now and the end of the sweepstakes, if you're watching that show, somewhere in that episode, we're going to give out a code word. If you're watching that show, you hear the code word, you go get entered on that link that we'll put in the comments, you can get an extra 25 entries into the drawing. So if you are a Crutchfield Live viewer, you have a significant advantage if you watch next week's show to actually win one of these Bose Flex speakers. So everybody can get entered once as of right now. If you watch next episode, you could get 25 bonus entries into the drawing.
Tune in for sure.
Dylan says it's worth it.
Blow up your chances.
And then you two can go grill up some ribeyes.
Yes, you can.
Sriracha, salt, pepper, medium rare.
It's over charcoal.
Toby Keith and George Strait.
Yes, that's
Bose
the list.
Flex speaker. It's a recipe for success.
It absolutely is.
Yeah. Have you gotten a chance to talk to any customers on the phones about the Bose Flex yet? Has that happened for you yet?
I have a couple times. And then of course having personal experience very much helps the conversation flow and make a really good recommendation. Also, when something's really good, it kind of just sells itself. It speaks for itself. So I've had a couple conversations comparing to other portable, rugged Bluetooth speakers. I can now say Bose Flex, you're going to be impressed, especially at that price point. It's kind of like, yeah, pretty sweet. It's a good deal.
I think a lot of people associate Bose with really expensive, but $149 is the price on these right now?
179.
179, 149. Let me not talk out of school. Let me actually look it up. Bose Flex, 149 even. So that's a very reasonable price.
Absolutely.
Did you find you had good battery life with them? Did they last a good long time?
Yeah, so when you crank it, and I did a lot, it'll drain the battery a little faster. Otherwise, you're supposed to get about 12 hours medium to low volume. So it just depends on what you're doing. Also, it'll take your calls, so that's part of the battery life that didn't really like significantly drain it at all. It's just if you want it to be like your party speaker, which it can be because it gets loud, you get, I don't know, something about 8 or 9 hours, I imagine. It's a lot. Long time.
No, that's more than most people need their device to do in any kind of one, between charges.
100%,
really.
yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, 149, and that is cool. A lot of Bluetooth speakers don't do the hands-free calling thing. So if you're hanging out in the backyard and you're grilling, you don't want to start grabbing your phone out of your pocket. You're going to get grease all over it, right? Leave the phone in the pocket. Let the Bose do the job of being your microphone and your speaker. So, and knowing Bose, I'm sure it's got good the ability to cancel out noise and hear you really well, so your callers hear you good. So. That's awesome. We've got some people entering into the sweepstakes already. Sam Online entered.
Nice.
Inez says it would be really nice to have some content about wireless headphones with some latency tests and detailed spectrum responses. We'll mention that when Jeff gets up here. He's all into doing that sort of stuff. So we'll see what he has to say about that. Devastator 3426 entered. Good luck to everyone from Inez. Rick says, when are the new Sony ES products coming to Crutchfield website? Let me see here. If you go to crutchfield.com right now like just go to the homepage, I think you're going to see Sony Mobile ES as one of the headlines. It's one of the possible headlines. So you're also going to see those, is that KLH or KEF? It's one of those KEF speakers. So it's one of several different headlines. But yeah, Sony Mobile ES products are available now. There's a subwoofer, there's speakers, obviously the XAV-9500ES. So yeah, the Mobile ES is coming on strong from Sony right now. We're happy to have it available. Inez said, well, I missed the code words. No, you didn't. We didn't say them yet. I don't even know what the code word is yet. The code word will be given out on the 7th. So the next episode of this show, 2 weeks from like right now, we will give you a code word to get an additional 25 entries into that drawing. Yes, we want you to keep watching the show. We're not even going to be bashful about that. Rick Dodson entered. Nice job, everybody, getting entered. Tell your friends. Tell them how they can get entered. Tell them they can get the code word on the next show. We want as many people to have an opportunity to win this as possible. I understand that you want less people so that your chances are greater, but come on, let's spread the love. Let's spread the Bose Flex love.
We have 4 coming at you,
there's 4.
So not just this one.
Yep. 4 of them. They're all black. They are boxed up. We literally have them here somewhere, unopened, and so we're gonna get. Are we getting the Scherzer Cam going? There he is. There's my dog. He is here with us every day I come to work. Generally speaking, he likes to relax all day. He sleeps in his dog bed in my office. I give him some breakfast in the morning, and we go outside to the Crutchfield Dog Park a couple times a day where he can do his business and run around. And yeah, this is what he does. He is a very well-behaved dog.
Very unintimidated by the limelight.
He is.
He didn't even react. Well, there was a paw twitch.
There was.
Was that nervousness?
He
No,
he will definitely dream about chasing squirrels.
Oh yeah. And then he runs while he's laying
He does.
down.
He'll be laying there just like he is there, and his little legs are going just like that. And
I love
that. And he's.
Yeah.
It's pretty fun to watch. I need to get video of that so we can just maybe put that on a live at some point.
Sleep barking.
All right. Did we miss anything? I think that's all the stuff about the Bose Flex.
Yeah. Just don't forget to enter.
Yeah. Enter now. Watch again on the 7th to get another 25 bonus entries, and then tune in on the 21st to hear the name of the winners announced live on the show.
Yes.
Dylan, thank you so much for coming in today.
Thank you for having me.
Appreciate it.
Thanks for letting me talk about steak.
Absolutely.
And Bose.
Yeah.
Appreciate it.
Bose, steak, smoke, and what was the other one?
Grills.
Grills. That's right.
Grills. Summertime.
Fantastic. We're going to switch gears, and we're going to bring in another special guest. His name is Jeff Miller. He is what I like to call our headphone guru here at Crutchfield. Jeff used to work in our customer support department, where he was talking to people about, shipping their orders and tracking packages and issuing refunds and setting up special invoices and returns and all that fun stuff.
Right.
And then you thought you wanted to do more than that, huh?
Yeah, I wanted to. I moved on to the creative department, and then pretty soon after I got up there, and started writing different product pages. The old headphone guy got promoted to editor, so opened up a spot, and from then he gave me sort of the blueprint, and everybody around here. Well, I learned from you as well during training. But just like, there's no better crash course on any of this stuff than being here, sort of learning by osmosis, even for those first however many years I was here, and then now, but then he gave me the blueprint, and then just really get into the details. And
so when you got the job in creative, did you hope to be able to write about headphones? Was this a passion of yours before you got that job, or did you take this on and now it's become like what seems to be your life's blood, is like learning and writing about and evaluating headphones?
Yeah, I mean, it is kind of interesting.
Ignore them. They're fine. They're doing what they do.
No, it's it's interesting. When we would get I remember when I first heard about a headphone amplifier when I was down in customer support. I thought it was the craziest thing I ever heard of. I was like, why would you need a headphone amplifier? And then now it's kind of like, oh, of course you need a headphone amplifier.
Right now, you're educating the public on the importance of headphone amplifiers.
I mean, the concept just kind of blew my mind.
So Jeff writes a ton about headphones. So if you are on a product page for a pair of headphones on our website, there's a halfway decent chance Jeff wrote all about those headphones, right? I mean, you've done most of those.
Yeah.
And you've also written some really nice articles on Crutchfield headphones. And there's a cool way, I didn't know this until you showed me earlier. If you go to crutchfield.com/best phones. Do I have that right?
Yeah, best phones with an S at the end.
Best phones, as in headphones.
Right.
You're not rating iPhones and Androids. You're not getting into
no.
that debate, right?
No, definitely want to. I have enough on my plate with these.
So if you go to crutchfield.com/best phones, we'll put a link to that in the chat. I hope someone's about to do that. And that takes you to this page here. You can see Jeff, bunch of articles, best true wireless earbuds, best noise canceling, best wireless, best wired headphones, which is, you might think that's what we're doing here today, but there's another article coming soon to this page.
Yeah.
That's called best audiophile grade headphones.
Yeah,
right?
I figured why not workshop it live here on YouTube, right?
Yeah,
I'm
exactly.
still working on it.
Best headphone amps, best gaming headphones, lots and lots of really cool articles. Jeff wrote quite a few of them. Archer and Colin are also sort of your cohorts there, right?
Yeah, Colin is a gaming expert, so he knows.
Oh,
the
yeah,
gaming
that makes sense. Yep.
But I'm fortunate enough to have heard and listened to a wide variety of headphones, everything from the $25 headphones that I got for my kids that have the noise limiting thing to make sure that it
Preserves their
hearing and everything, up to this level of headphone, which is competing with the experience you get from like a high-end audio setup,
Yeah.
or two-channel setup.
And that's what we've got here today is 5 high-end audiophile grade headphones.
That's right.
And this is topical for you. You've recently written an article.
Yeah.
It is appearing currently in our spring 2022 catalog.
Yep.
And I've got a shot of that here. We saw it for a second. Maybe we'll switch back to it momentarily, but it's a write out in the catalog. You have the catalog itself right there.
Oh, yeah.
Grab that thing, Jeff.
Our props.
Yeah,
Forgot.
we got props, baby.
I'm like the weird last guest on Letterman. I got all the props. in
Yeah. So that's the article you wrote about these particular headphones that we have here in the studio with us today. So we figured we'd take advantage of the fact that we've got them to talk about why you chose these as the best audiophile headphones, what makes each one great, and how you evaluate them. So let's go from that side to this side. What is the first one you got over there? Oh, actually, no. You told me earlier. We're gonna start with these here, aren't we?
Well, do you want to just name them first and then go?
Yeah,
Okay.
good call,
All right.
Jeff. What are the 5 headphones?
This is the Meze Audio Elite planar magnetic headphones. They're open back. They look closed back, but they're open back. These are the Sennheiser HD800S open back dynamic headphones. These are the Focal Clear MG open back headphones. Here's a closed back model, the Denon AH-D9200 closed back bamboo ear cup headphones. And finally, Audeze's new flagship, the LCD-5 planar magnetic headphones, also open back. So 1, 2, 3, 4 open backs and a closed back.
So I'll start off with throwing some stuff I can tell you just from looking at these headphones. What's unique or what's common about all 5 of these is that they're not Bluetooth.
No.
They're not noise canceling.
No.
They don't do hands-free calling.
Right.
They are wired headphones, not wireless.
Yeah, and all those other things that you listed have their place. In fact, I've noted, I noted the another headphone article I'm working on is our wireless TV article, updating that. So I noted what the person on comment said earlier, and that's a good idea to test the latency.
You want to comment on that real quick? It would be nice to have some content about wireless headphones with some latency tests and detailed spectrum responses. I've definitely had Bluetooth headphones where I'm watching a YouTube video and the audio and the video is not synced up. But that seems to have improved over the last couple of years.
Yeah, it's gotten really good. From Bluetooth 5 on, and even if your phone or your device doesn't have Bluetooth 5, if the headphone itself has Bluetooth 5, I've personally noticed, this is anecdotal, not like, I didn't like get anything to test it out with, but just anecdotally, I've noticed a much better audio to video sync with the
me too.
latency and that
Bluetooth
sort of-
5, my
and
most
evolved,
recent set of headphones definitely improved upon that. What about like spectrum responses, right? Where we have like we can show the EQ curve or the actual frequency response curve of each pair of headphones. Is that something we're going to start doing, or have you thought about doing
Well,
that?
I
or
mean,
anything?
it is. I mean, it's fun to dive into that stuff. It's everywhere. I guess for me, the problem is like you got to really know your stuff and really know the tools and the measurements. And there's so many people who have had so much experience doing that. Not that there aren't people in our company who could do that. Certainly the speaker compare guys could probably do that. But I just think that, you know, for us to like to get in there and do that, we'd want to do it right, and we'd want to have to make sort of the business case for it and all that good stuff too. So
Yeah, that would be a major endeavor, right? Some
right.
testing equipment and making sure we're doing that fairly and representing them fairly. When, for me personally, I could look at a frequency spectrum on these headphones, and I can see that maybe one has some more bass or is you know, clearer on the highs or something. But for me, it all comes down to what does it sound like and what does it feel like when I put them on my head and play some music.
Exactly.
Right? And the frequency spectrum a graph or something like that may or may not accurately predict what I'm going to enjoy mostly.
Yeah, and I mean, I've seen people dismiss headphones out of hand that they probably should have given a try, and sort of the other way around too, where they really love something and then they see the and they're like, oh, I shouldn't love that because
Right.
It's like, well, if you like it, you like it. Just, you know, and
Exactly. All right, let's start talking about these Sennheiser
let's do it.
HD-800s now. In the article, you called those a sonic trailblazer?
Yes, the lineage of these, the original HD-800 came out around 2009, and it kind of kicked off the whole high-end headphone boom, and then, you know, sort of taken off from there. But they were the first ones to, well, if we're going to talk price, hit that $1,000 price point and above, and really just bringing a complete sophisticated look at driver design and that sort of thing. You know, there had been electrostatic headphones that could rival sort of the sound of like your high-end speakers. I shouldn't say, not mimic speakers. They're not. Most of these headphones are not trying to mimic speakers, but these were sort of the first ones that kind of give you that really high-end sound.
Yeah, they've been making these for a while now, and they updated them a few years ago. I remember seeing them at the Consumer Electronics Show in Vegas. They were always an open back headphone for a long time.
Yeah.
And they recently, within the last few years, sort of changed that so that there's sort of, I think they describe it as semi-closed back, right? So you still have an open, spacious feel, but it also keeps that bass in. Is that
Well,
true?
yeah, they actually have a newer one that has like these Gorilla Glass ear cups. They're the HD-820s.
That's what-
so
maybe
that's the
that's
ones.
what I'm
I
thinking
think
of.
those are the ones you tried, and those are they're trying to recreate that same sound in a closed back headphone.
Yep.
But these what they did with the S model of that same HD-800 is kind of hone in some of those high end frequencies because. That's what I guess these are known for. Known for a few things. One of them is this really huge sound stage, probably the largest sound stage to this day. You know, however many years later, of all the headphones, which makes them very popular for classical music and that kind of thing. But also, even like professional gamers will use them when they need like a good sense of direction when they're kind of playing games. So like these are obviously the pros,
Sure.
where they're doing a separate microphone and all that good stuff.
So, so these are an open back design?
Open back design, so that they'll leak music in and out, and they'll.
That's partly how they get that big sound. Though.
Right, exactly. Yeah, and like I said, 4 out of the 5 here are open back, but that's sort of their calling card is that huge sound stage, but then that precise imaging so that everything sounds like where it should be.
Cool. Let's move
Sense of
on to the
space.
next ones. What do we got going on right there?
These are the Meze Elites. They're built on the backbone of the Empyrean, which was their original top of the line headphone. These are their even more top of the line headphone. Their latest flagship at $4,000. They are probably, I think, the best built headphones that we actually carry, like as far as like, you know, the physical build of the headphones, because the Antonio Meze, the founder, who I actually got to interview, and that's another article coming out soon. I've been very fortunate to be able to listen and talk to some of these people involved in making the headphones. But he comes from a product design background, so he wants to make these like heirloom, keepsake quality pieces. To give you an idea, they do a machined aluminum hand sculpting of everything. The machined aluminum part of the frame, that part right there, takes about 20 hours per headphone for the Elite, according to Meze. So, you know, just a really strong build and then really comfortable. That's kind of how this company made their name. In fact, Crutchfield's most comfortable headphone was made by Meze Audio. If you remember our
we did some testing on that a few years back. Back before the pandemic, when we could get people in a room and have them trying on headphones and evaluating them for not how they sound but how they feel. And the Meze 99 Classics were the most comfortable headphones. Hey, here they are. Look, ask and you shall receive. That's how it works here.
So and the crazy thing about these, if you don't mind me going too far off the rails, Phillip, these came out originally back in 2015, and I feel like our comfort testing and, you know, some other things, just people rediscovering wired headphones and high-end headphones here the last couple of years, but our comfort testing and being named the Crutchfield most comfortable headphone helped them have like sort of a second life, and they're more popular now than they were when they first came out.
Let me see that for a second. I think one of the things that made them so comfortable was this headband right here, because it takes the pressure points off and it sort of, it spreads out the weight of the headphone, even though, and I'm sure those are a little heavier duty and heavier than these, right? But they don't feel all that heavy because they do such a nice job of supporting themselves and keeping the frame from, creating a pain point on your head. So comfortable, and they sound incredible.
And so Antonio told me, name drop, Antonio Meze told me that the spring actually covers the entire crown of your head, where most headphones it's just that, just the part that's like between the head. So he knew that would make sure it was comfortable for the most size of head, whether it's like somebody my size head or a smaller head. So and then sound wise, really for these and for the 99 Classics, really tight authoritative bass, and then this is the Elites are one of those headphones you can just kind of put on. They're so comfortable, they're so even keeled, and then they get that punchy bass that works well with pretty much, who doesn't like bass, right?
These things have 3 different customer reviews already on them, which is saying something for a $4,000 set of headphones. And averaging 5 out of, nobody has given it anything other than 5 stars on the reviews. And people have lots and lots of nice things to say. People start talking about what they're listening to, Leonard Cohen's meticulous writing and composing, what they're comparing them to. Lots of great songs mentioned in here. So that's one person. That's actually from one of our employees. Another one, our employees are getting their hands on these headphones.
And Philip's going to show you here the presentation from start to finish. Like as soon as you get, and that's true of all these headphones. But
here, I'll hold it. You open it.
I mean, it looks like something I put in the copy that Q would hand James Bond. It's like you have all that. Your wires would be in there, your headphones would be like beautifully laid out.
Replacement, or are these different than the ones that are on it?
These are replacement. Those are actually the one I think I mentioned. If people could, the Empyreans.
If people are paying attention,
No, I mean if I'm not talking too ridiculous. These were built on the backbone of the Empyreans, and these are like the pads that were actually included with the Empyreans. They've created these new like leather pads that are sculpted. Better,
so those are more of a leather feel, whereas these are more of a cloth, like a
plush.
velour or plush type of feel.
And gives you a little bit different sound because it's further away from you. I prefer these pads just because they feel great, and they put the drivers in the right position to succeed.
And you can take them with you in a locked box to keep them protected on the go.
Yeah, it's like the
You can look like you're
Money in the
carrying
bank
around
case.
something you shouldn't be.
Right.
All right, so Sennheisers are excellent.
Yeah.
The Mezes are fantastic.
Yeah.
Focal next, which gets my vote for the prettiest headphone on the table today. These things are
Agreed.
absolutely gorgeous.
Agreed. They are built on that same sort of. So Focal has a line of high-end headphones, and they all have this same similar shape. They are same exact shape, I should say. They did the studies to see what worked best, what kept the drivers in the right position, and what looked the best, felt the best, and all that stuff for their driver, and just build on it every time. And this is probably the prettiest one that they've come up with yet. This is the Clear MG. It's their newest audiophile headphone, came out last year, and it's as close to they get to their top of the line Utopia headphones, which have those. Which I hope I'm not introducing too many things, but those have beryllium drivers. So, beryllium has those sound characteristics that are like that. They're rigid, lightweight. They move really fast, but they also they like zero vibration. I think the guy brought us a tuning fork from Focal, hit the desk, and he's like,
I should have brought them. I have them in my
Oh,
office.
yeah. The
I
beryllium
could
tuning
bang
fork.
them and we could listen to all the materials ring out, except beryllium just dies
Yes.
right there.
Yep.
So it adds no resonance to the sound. It doesn't color your sound with its own additional frequencies. That's the last thing you want in your headphones, and beryllium is fantastic for that.
And these are about as close as you can get because these are magnesium, purely magnesium diaphragms, with the same M-shaped design that is like really fast attack. So you get those incredible dynamics that Focal is known for. Do you remember in our training, way back when you trained me years and years ago, that we went to a Focal? I think we had just started doing pro audio, and they brought in some near field monitors.
Yep.
Like the speakers that you would listen to at a desk for mixing. So I remember them playing those, and I was in the back of our big, huge training room at the time, and saying, "Well, this is not the Focal I know. This is what is it? I can't." And then I got closer, and it's like, oh, So that another learning thing. Thank you, JR. And so they call these extreme near field speakers. That kind of, if that helps you visualize what they're going for, it's sort of that at your desk with monitor speakers so a more forward.
Focal knows what they're doing making speakers, whether it's for like a living room setup, right? They've got some really nice high-end bookshelf and floor standing speakers.
Yeah.
If you look for Utopia, that's their really, really top-of-the-line flagship model.
Beryllium.
They know how to do speakers in cars, a completely different environment than a living room, and how to make them sound good with all the timing issues in cars.
Yeah.
And then, like you said, studio monitors for mixing music where you're listening just sitting a foot or two away from them. That is a different sound than speakers that are 10 feet away from you.
Yeah.
And headphones are an even different sound when they're literally an inch from your ear.
Right.
So yeah, they know how to make them sound right at the distance you'll be listening to them from, and that's important.
Yeah, you often will hear me say and see me write about how spacious a headphone sounds. I talked about the sound stage here and how incredibly large it is. Focal here embraces the headphone-ness of it all, very close to you forward, but still a good sense of space, and you can still pick out details and all that good stuff.
Yep. So I'd say you got so far 3 pretty solid choices. These were about $1,000?
Yes.
The Mezes were $4,000.
$4,000, yes.
$1,500. Now they kind of feel less expensive when we think about a $4,000 headphone. These are looking pretty attractive to me. We've got 2 more choices here. What's next? These are the Denons, right?
Yeah, and those are near and dear to me because I feel like Crutchfield helped kind of get them here to the States, or help them grow their name in the States and reputation. We were one of the first retailers to carry them. I know they're out there, but we've done business with we love Denon's receivers and their home stereo stuff. We've loved them for years, and this is like their attempt at like swinging for the fences on high-end headphones, and they have really done it. If you pull up that product page, you'll see like the people, the process of like them built. Scroll through here. You can see how they hand make these bamboo ear cups. And I talked about leaning into the headphone-ness of it all. These are, a lot of the closed backs we talk about are like trying to make a open back sound in a closed back headphones. These lean into the closed back sound. They hone. I mean, they see this guy. He's
What is he doing?
he's he's taking the bamboo and sort of processing it and milling it, and getting it to where they can get it shaped into the right and sculpted into the right size. Then it's hand lacquered at the end. I think they have pictures of the hand lacquering that they do, and they even put the.
Oh yeah, you can see the bamboo here. Here we go.
Yeah, and for those worried about this kind of thing, bamboo grows back pretty quickly, so it's not like they have to keep planting.
That's a pretty sustainable material for stuff. Yeah.
They're not like planting or cutting down forests or anything. They're letting bamboo grow and then harvesting it and then and moving on. But yeah, there's those drivers, and they are built to succeed within those bamboo ear cups. So the bamboo has a tonal characteristic that's very lively, but the drivers and the baffles inside things are built to kind of tame it a little bit, but also kind of let it sparkle in the highs and let the bass do its thing. So it's a fun sound, but that sounds frivolous. It's not frivolous at all. It's very
This is great. I didn't know we had so many pictures of the hand building of these headphones.
Yeah, I mean,
awesome.
It's very accurate sound, but at the same time, it's it kind of lets the freak flag fly.
Man, how can they even afford to do that at $15.99? I mean, once you know that that's the way they build these, they're not just coming off an assembly line,
right.
100 of them at a time. They are really built with that kind of care. $15.99 sounds pretty reasonable. A lot of great reviews on it. 7 of them, 5 out of 5 stars.
Yeah.
So this is a great option.
Very musical.
People, they're not in stock at the moment. Looks like we have an ETA though, so hopefully they'll be back in the next couple months.
Yeah.
But I would say the fact that you can add that to your cart right now, if you're at all interested in those, do that, because that'll put you on the list to get one in the order in which your order was placed. So get one of those. All right, our last headphones. What do we got here? These look different than the rest.
Yes, the Audeze LCD-5 planar magnetic headphones. You remember our comfort test. You remember people who may not be familiar with the higher end headphones walking in, seeing those giant, earlier generation Audeze headphones and being like, whoa, and putting them on.
Yes.
And just huge. I mean, when you hit play on the music, I mean, it's just heaps of.
They were heavy.
Yeah. Oh, but they're very heavy. Audeze has actually made them much lighter. It's a carbon fiber frame, but they've used their magnet technology to make them much more efficient, and ultimately, like, this is the lightest flagship headphone that people have seen. So you get that great Audeze sound, that incredible Audeze sound, but you don't have to wear the big giant. I mean, it's big, but
no, they're physically large.
Yeah,
I mean, the ear cups are bigger.
Yeah.
They're and it takes that to do planar magnetic. So that is, all of the rest of these headphones have a traditional. Those are also planar magnetic. So these 3 have a more traditional speaker. It's just smaller and condensed, and it's put into an ear cup. Right. This is a completely different thing happening in there. I mean, it's still electricity going in, and it's moving a diaphragm. Yeah. But that diaphragm isn't shaped like what you are used to seeing in a speaker.
No, it's just like it's very thin and very large. They say they say that it's 200 times thinner than a strand of human hair. Now, you and I don't have human hair, so we don't know what that means.
We wouldn't know what that's about.
But it's like it was actually a film, a material that was developed by NASA that and that can move really quickly, but still, so it's large, but it's moving a lot of air, but it's moving very quickly because it's so thin. And then they have this magnet array that is.
Let me go back to that. Yeah, I was just looking at the magnets.
We're lucky. We're fortunate enough to have trainings from all these different companies, and Audeze has come in before with just the magnets themselves and shown us how they lay them out in a asymmetrical array, which means like it's like opposite of how you would think magnets should be laid out. It's a patented technology they came up with, and makes the magnets basically go, I think, maybe twice or 1.5 times as strong as they normally a magnet would be. We saw them go, you know, like just really quick, and that's what makes those super thin, super huge drivers move. But yeah, so
that's the real significant difference, is the surface area of the driver being significantly bigger.
Yep.
More surface area means it moves more air, it makes more sound.
Yeah.
And because it's super thin, it can be quick and precise for those high frequencies. Because it's bigger, it can give you bass.
Yep.
Right. So it is a full range, everything from top to bottom, and maybe even more presence than most other headphones.
Yep. Exactly. Yeah. Yeah, I should mention, so like a lot of we mentioned stuff like that, like the Fluxar magnet, all these terms, these things. A lot of that stuff trickles down to to some of the headphones that don't necessarily have to cost $4,000, $3,000. So you can get really great, really excellent, really, that has all these same sound characteristics at lower prices. I just, it's Crutchfield Live, so let's bring the creme de la creme to the
we're here talking about audiophile grade headphones, right? Your article on best wired headphones has a lot of lower priced alternatives to these that are fantastic.
Yeah, from the same companies. Yeah,
very much. Very, the little brothers to these guys, and these are also great headphones that are more in the everyman's budget, right?
Right.
That's not what this is. These are the audiophile ones. Let's finish this up by talking about how you evaluate these headphones. Like, how do you do that? What do you listen to? Where do you get your music? What's your process like when you're listening to these headphones so that you can write about them?
Well, so all of these headphones need that aforementioned headphone amplifier to drive them, to make them. I mean, you can get sound by plugging them into your phone if you can get the right connection to your phone. But to hear them at their best, you definitely need a headphone amplifier.
These are not the kind of headphones you just plug into your phone.
No.
You just don't do that with these headphones. That's not what they're for.
No. And the last couple of years, everybody at home, just like we've seen two-channel grow back, this resurgence in two-channel audio and turntables, all these other old school things, old-fashioned wired headphones plugging into an amplifier. For one thing, compare this to a super high-end, you look at these prices, but then you compare those to a super high-end two-channel setup, like, the equivalent of these. What's the steak equivalent, Dylan? Is this like a Kobe beef, or is it? Sure she's listening.
She's not listening to you at all. Her and Matt are talking about other stuff over there.
Yeah.
What's the high end steak? We gotta ask her now. What's the high end steak? Like what's the
Kobe beef?
What's the audiophile level of
or maybe
steaks?
like
what's the best steak you've ever?
Oh my God.
Or a wine pairing? You want to go?
No, you just get yourself some sort of beautiful Wagyu.
There you go.
Let's say Wagyu.
Wagyu.
A ribeye would be like the coup de grace for me.
Wagyu ribeye.
Yeah.
So that and a glass of wine and some Meze Elites.
Yeah,
right?
exactly. There you go.
Did I say the one's right ones?
This is it, right? Yeah,
right.
Meze Elites.
I've got on my screen, if you want to pull it up, some examples of some headphone amplifiers, and they range in price drastically, right? So
shape.
And shape, like you could get one that just plugs into the side of your laptop.
Yep.
You can get some that are more portable, designed to go with you wherever you go. You can also get some that are more like a component style, where they are designed to sit on your desktop, next to your computer, next to your audio system, things like that. So lots of different choices for headphone amps, but you need one for pretty much all of these to really do what they do.
Definitely.
So you use a headphone amp.
Yeah, and most of our headphone amps have a DAC built in, a digital to analog converter.
Yep.
Which is important because even though we talked about how all these old school things are coming back, another thing that happened is our networking has gotten better. So we can stream high res like you do in your car. We can listen to these higher quality recordings and that sort of thing. So having a quality digital to analog converter takes that part of the process out of your computer or phone or whatever, and brings it over here. So I personally listen to Qobuz high-res streaming. We have a good relationship with those guys. We actually interviewed a few of them also.
So Qobuz does for high-res music what Spotify does for CD quality music, right? So it's streaming. It's most of the songs that are out there in the best quality that you can stream.
Yep.
Right, and if you're streaming over Wi-Fi, it can sound its best. If you're streaming over cellular, it could use a lot of data.
Yeah.
But it is the best sound quality for streaming. Now, do you have that coming out of your computer or your phone or what?
Yeah, usually my laptop, I have it connected straight USB to the DAC, and then it and headphone amplifier, and then it does the conversion, and then.
And you use the Qobuz app on your computer, right?
Yes.
Not the browser version of Qobuz.
No, yeah, the app.
So that's going to get you the best sound from the Qobuz service.
Yep.
You're coming out USB to a headphone amplifier and a D to A converter, so that your computer isn't responsible for powering and converting the music. And so you've got plenty of power for your headphones.
Yep, I call out one. So I try a bunch of different headphone amp DACs, and iFi certainly is a great. You've got them pulled up there. They're great at making these products. The one that I call out in the catalog article is the Cambridge Audio DAC Magic 200.
Yeah,
it's sort of a Swiss Army knife, jack of all trades kind of thing that has that can be a preamp. It could be a you can use it as a and customers love it. But you can plug. I mean, it's got a nice headphone amplifier built in, capable of driving all of these headphones. If you could drive these headphones, you drive anything, right?
Sure. And it's a great DAC for converting all the digital files to analog. So amplifies your headphones. Big volume knob on the front.
Yeah.
We covered this. Hey, look.
Oh, there it is.
There it is. So that's the DAC Magic Plus. So this is a component. I mean, this thing sits on your desk, probably near your computer.
Yeah, but not too huge to where it's not like I have another one that's like this big where I have to put on a rack beside the.
Yep.
This one you can put on your desk.
So we got USB connections on the back. You've got XLR connections, so you can go balanced connections if you've got a high-end preamp or something.
Yep.
And optical digital inputs.
Yeah.
So just about anything, you can pipe it into here, converts it from digital to analog, amplifies it, and sends out an output specifically for your headphones. Control it with the volume. All right. I feel like you've been delaying here, Jeff. You got to tell me, what are you listening to when you evaluate these headphones?
I'm sorry, like music. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I listen to all types of different stuff. Certainly, because when we're dealing with this class of headphone, you want to know how technically proficient it is. So I will listen to some like classical music, some jazz, and that kind of thing, just to kind of see, hey, can I pick out instruments? Is the imaging on point? Do the dynamics, like the loud to soft moments, come through with the sort of like in your chest kind of thing, like it should?
Yeah.
But I also, I'll listen to some like classic soul because like we were talking with the measurements, sometimes a lot of it is like, how do you feel when you're listening to the music?
Yeah.
When I have that cup of coffee in the morning, and I like, do I get energized to like put it on and certainly with all these headphones it does, and listening to something like like some soul music, some rock music, that kind of thing. Like, will it pick me up? Will it get me in the groove? That sort of thing. And then I also listen to like late '90s rap, and then and stuff of that era, like the newer Griselda stuff. That's kind of like that grimy sort of beat, where if it's a lesser headphone, it sounds like either way too much bass, is like beat me over the head with bass, or it's like, or sometimes even these like really high end headphones can just sound like a guy talking over like a musical backtrack, versus like really blended in and textured and like dirt on the fingernails, getting into the music kind of thing. And that's what I like to hear, is like when it's like a nice blend, and you do get good bass, but it's not like overbearing, or it's not like at the expense of everything else that you're listening to.
I am so glad you went from customer support to creative, because you are so good at describing sound, and you do that well right here, right now. You're using the words that I can like, oh, I get what he's talking about. You also do a lot of that in your product spotlights where you write about a headphone that you actually got to listen to. That's what I've got on my screen now. If you want to pop that up, Landon, just to show an example of when Jeff writes about a headphone, maybe not every single time, but a lot of times you will include your hands-on experience, what you listened to, what you heard when you listened to it, how you felt. And giving out very specific examples. I love it when you do that.
Well, yeah, I like to steer people because, like, I mean, I've given an overview, but I want to make sure that if you're listening to a certain thing, that you're getting the right, like, if you're spending this kind of money on the headphones, I want to make sure you're getting the right one, and that it's going to play to your taste, I guess, is what I should say.
Hey, do we have the poll results? I think it's a good time to talk about the results of our poll. In the meantime, I've got a comment here going back to the whole steaks thing. I don't know if you saw that, Dylan, but somebody disagrees with you. Somebody's named Todd says best steaks are bacon-wrapped fillets from Argentinian cows.
Oh.
I haven't demoed such a thing.
So she hasn't tasted those for herself yet.
If he has dry ice, tell him send them on in. We'll give him a shot.
Nice. We got the results from the headphone poll. We had 19 votes, and you heard what the poll was, right?
Yeah,
Did you hear? So
did I get voted off the island?
How many pairs of headphones do you have? That was the question.
Oh, okay.
That's the poll question.
Yeah.
The choices were 0, 1, 2, or more, or so many I've lost count. What do you think wins? You can look at my screen now.
I'm gonna look at your screen. I think that the most people. It's a 1, 2, 0, 1, 2 or more.
0, 1, 2 or more, or so many I've lost count. Those are the four choices.
2 or more.
2 or more is the winner. 52% of people responding to this poll said they have 2 or more pairs of headphones. 26% said so many I've lost count. That's actually
That's awesome.
number 2. Number 2 in votes. 15% said they have 1, and we got 5% of this poll result saying 0. They don't have any headphones at all. So. I wonder if that's because they don't want headphones or they just haven't got any yet.
Well, again, we talked. So these are again the creme de la creme. That's why we brought them on YouTube Live. But I certainly have different headphones for different uses. I'm gonna drive Phillip crazy, but I went ahead and brought the Sony LinkBuds.
Oh wait, what is this?
The Sony LinkBuds.
Oh my God!
These are very specific for very, very specific. Can you get that? They have a big hole in the middle so that I can stay aware of my surroundings while I listen to music. But they're surprisingly full sound, even though you might think they would be hollow.
I don't know if you noticed this. There's a hole in the middle of it.
Yeah.
Why is there a hole?
So
what does that do?
So that's so that you can hear your surroundings. So like if I'm up at 3 in the morning with my 2-year-old trying to get him back to sleep, I can listen out for my 3-month-old. And make sure that he's still asleep and not crying, but still listen to podcasts and
these things sound good?
Yeah, they sound good. And I can listen in stereo. I can put 2. I used to do the thing with 1 ear, and I don't know how many parents do that. But now I can listen in stereo, listen to music, listen to podcasts at 3 in the morning, get the kid to sleep, and then make sure that the other kids are not.
Jeff, we clearly got more than we bargained for with you here today. I can't thank you enough for coming on and talking about it. This is it's a lot going on here with some really, really nice headphones.
Yeah.
Thank you, man. Appreciate it.
Thank you. And we're looking forward to your Oscar picks. So go ahead.
I don't have Oscar picks yet. And you said you kept mentioning how you were annoying Phillip. You know who's next on the screen? Phillip. Phillip is going to join us to talk about some stuff that he's got at his house. Not just stuff that you've auditioned and taken home for a week and then had to bring it back, but stuff you purchased.
Stuff I like so much that I bought.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And this is your home stereo setup?
Yeah.
So can you take it through us? I think we have a video you shot, right, as well?
Yeah, sure. So I guess the main part of my system is a pair of Klipsch Heresy speakers that I got from our employee store.
There they are.
That got returned by
Beautiful
customers.
speakers. Yes.
Those are the Heresy 3s. Then next, that's the SVS SB-1000 subwoofer. There's my turntable, the Technics SL-1210, my phono preamp, my Marantz integrated amp. That's what you're seeing now. You're about to see my Blue Sound Node, my Apple TV, and then my Eero router is over there. But it's mostly a vinyl system for listening to music. I also have my TV running through it too, through the Blue Sound, but it's mostly for listening to records.
So, give me an idea of what you like to listen to on here. What records are you popping on when you get home from work, or if you're going to do some real listening on it? What is your favorite go-to?
So, I mean, a big mix of stuff, but everybody says, "Oh, I like all kinds of music," and that's not a very
Yeah,
satisfying
we
answer.
don't allow people to just tell us, "Oh, I listen to a little bit of everything." We
Right.
hear that a lot. I'm going to pin you down, and so you're going to have to tell me.
Early '90s shoegaze exclusively. No, I listened to a lot of that, rock, some jazz. The record that was, I think, on my TV stand there was a band called Dirty Three, which is an Australian rock band. Warren Ellis leads that, and they do instrumental stuff. And Warren Ellis is on tour with Nick Cave right now.
Okay.
They do a bunch of soundtrack stuff together, but then, of course, Nick Cave and the Bad Seeds is more well-known rock
Yeah.
band. Yeah, lots of stuff like that.
Those Klipsch Heresy speakers, I am very jealous that you
Mm-hmm.
have a pair of those. I'm a huge Klipsch fan, as anybody that's been watching live knows. Tell me about those. Right? Are those things? I mean, as in your face awesome as I expect them to be?
Yeah, every bit as in-your-face awesome as you would want. They're three-way speakers with a horn-loaded tweeter and mid-range, and then I think it's a 12-inch woofer. Super in-your-face, super dynamic, and they just sound really big is kind of the best way I can put it. It's like wall of sound. The first time I heard them, that is what blew me away, was just the size of the music, the size of the presentation, and then when there's music with lots of dynamics, how good they can just like go full speed really, really quick.
Yeah, I used to work at a radio station that had Klipsch studio monitors, and on the radio station console, the volume knob was this tiny little knob that you could just go like that, and it would go from 0 to 100% in like a nanosecond. And those Klipsch speakers were like, yeah, no problem. You want to do it again? I can give you this as loud as you want.
Right.
So love those. And then you've got the SVS sub, so that's a pretty full-bodied system, right?
Yeah, and it was almost tricky to dial it in because the Klipsch speakers are so efficient, as you know, with those horns. They're like 97 or 98 dB, really, really sensitive. So on my amplifier, I barely ever have it past 9 o'clock.
Yeah.
But the signal from the amplifier is what tells the sub how loud to go. So it's like a really, really low signal.
You're right.
But SVS has an awesome app for dialing in the subwoofers and for getting everything fine-tuned. So it works really well together. But yeah, super, super efficient speakers kind of make everything else in the system have to work well with it.
Do you ever have any issues with the bass from the sub or the speakers causing your record player to have a problem? I didn't see any acoustic decoupling devices in there, but you've got it dialed in okay?
Yeah, so actually with the SVS subwoofers, they sell accessory. They don't come included, but they sell SoundPath feet that are like these thicker rubber isolating feet. So I have those under my subwoofer.
Gotcha. And
And then I have, actually what we have in our studio here, one of these BDI TV stands, so it's really, really heavy, and
Yep.
so no vibration gets through.
nice. And really quick, so this is not a surround sound system at all,
Nope.
even though you've got your TV integrated in. It's just two channels.
Just
left
two
and-
channel.
Left 2.1 technically. So how are you using the Apple TV and the Blue Sound Node?
So my Marantz amplifier only has analog inputs. It doesn't have Bluetooth or Wi-Fi or even an optical digital input.
Yeah.
I have my TV, my Apple TV, and then streaming all runs through the Blue Sound node. So it acts as my DAC, as my D to A converter.
Okay.
And then out of the Blue Sound node into a set of inputs on the Marantz amplifier.
And you don't do anything as far, or do you? Do you do any like music streaming through the Node? Because the Node is part of that Blue Sound multi-room wireless audio system. And if you do any streaming, what do you stream? Like what services do you use?
I pretty much only use Spotify just because it's so convenient and they have
Yeah.
everything, and it's great for like music discovery. If I like a record, I buy the album. I buy it on vinyl. But I like Spotify for finding new music, and it's super convenient. My wife enjoys that and uses Pandora. I don't have any multi-room stuff. I only have the one Blue Sound piece, so that'd be a cool addition for the future. But it's mostly just the TV runs through it.
And what about stuff on TV? What do you watch? I mean, you're part of our video team here, so
Yeah.
you watch TV differently than the rest of us.
Maybe a little bit.
What do you watch?
I probably subscribe to pretty much every streaming service. Certainly all the big ones: HBO, Hulu, Netflix, Apple TV Plus, Disney Plus.
Yeah.
But usually it's Netflix or something on HBO Max is what I'm watching.
And you live kind of in town, right? So you have pretty decent internet. You get 4K. You get great sound, obviously, off of this.
Yeah.
Videos look good and sound good.
Yeah, so I'm lucky enough we have Ting internet, which not everybody knows of, but it's fiber and it's super fast.
So jealous.
And then I have that Eero. You saw one of the routers in there. It's the Eero mesh system. So I have that plus 2 nodes in the house. So we get close to gigabit upload and download speeds.
So what we just did
Yes.
was an example of what we would like to do with more of our employees.
Yes.
If you enjoyed what we just did, a look at Phillip's system, and we talk about it, how you use it, why you like it. We're trying to get more Crutchfield employees to come join us here on live. So if you're into that, feel free to drop us a line and let us know. And we're going to reach out to other employees to see who might be interested in doing this. Phillip just laid it out for you. That's a great little sort of thing. We'd also love to hear more about your systems as our customers, as our viewers. And we've had people send us photos, people tag us on Instagram, things like that. And we would love to showcase your systems as well. Even if it's just a picture of your living room, your card stereo, your 2-channel system, whatever it might be. Landon, you got some of those pictures handy? We had some people already doing this, even before we asked people to do this. But that would be DS Auto Spot, which is a Bose audio system installed in their dash. Nice big double DIN touchscreen. That thing looks great. Has a backup camera. It looks like it's installed on a Honda Fit. What else do we got? Oh, that's
right up my alley. I see a turntable, pair of speakers, lots of records up there.
Yeah. Is that a center channel right below the turntable?
Ooh, I think you're right.
And I don't see the TV in this particular picture, but I do see a Metallica poster, which is right up my alley.
Is that a lava lamp or just a regular?
I hope it's a lava lamp.
I hope it is too.
Is this a Chopper D? New setup, very happy with the finish. Very cool.
Yeah, it looks awesome.
Yeah, send us pictures like that. It makes us very happy. What do we got next? This is a before speaker. This is the inside of their door. They've taken the door panel off, and that is the factory speaker right there in 204 Wilderness. Looks like they replaced the factory speakers with some nice Kicker CS 2-ways. I guarantee you that sounds a lot better than what was in there before.
And that's one of the new Subaru Wilderness models. Have you seen those before? Where they're lifted and they're on like the all-terrain tires?
Yeah, like they do all the mods. I'm in a Subaru Crosstrek Facebook group where people are like, what tires can I put on there? How far can I lift it? What light bar do you have?
Right.
Can I put a winch on it? This is Subaru just doing most of that for you.
Yes.
So you can just buy it that way.
Yep, pretty sweet.
I'm not a person that does a lot of modifications. I replaced the stereo.
Right.
That's it. And so otherwise my car is pretty much factory. Do we have any more, or is that all? All right, cool. So that's a sort of a look into some of our customers, viewers, fans on Instagram. Tag us at Crutchfield or hashtag Crutchfield.
Yep.
Somehow let us know if you're posting pictures of the systems that you've bought from us and installed. We'd love to see that. We're going to try to get more employees to do what Phillip just did and show us what they've got in their homes. And their cars, and their boats, and wherever you might be. Camera. What are you doing with your camera? We'd love to see that.
Or their desks, lots of headphone fans like Jeff.
Your headphones, good idea. Your Bluetooth speaker. Give us a shot of you grilling steaks in your backyard, like Dylan. So yeah, we would love to have it and be able to feature more of that on a future Crutchfield Live. Speaking of future Crutchfield Lives, we're going to wrap this thing up. You're going to hang out here with me until it's done.
Sure, let's do it.
I just want to remind everybody, Bose Flex.
Yes.
We've got 4 of them. They're sitting right over there. We are going to give them away on Thursday, April 21st on a Crutchfield Live. If you are watching this one and you haven't gotten entered yet, the link is in the comments or the chat here on YouTube. And if you're watching next episode, which is 2 weeks from right now,
April 7th,
somewhere in that episode will be a code word. If you catch the code word and go back to the link for entering into this, you can get an extra 25 entries, significantly increasing your chances of winning one of the 4 Bose Flex speakers, just like that, the black ones. And so definitely come check that out, and then watch on the 21st to see who actually wins. Have you guys picked the code word yet? I've not been given the code word. I think you were afraid I would accidentally reveal it.
They don't tell me this stuff either.
No, so we're not. That's above our pay grade.
No idea.
Big thank you to Phillip for coming in and talking about his system. Thank you to Dylan for coming in and talking about the Bose Flex speaker. Thanks to Jeff for talking about headphones. Thanks to everybody behind the scenes making all this work. I'm so sorry we couldn't get the Facebook live feed working today. We had a funky technical issue right before we went live. We were very happy to get YouTube going. And thank you to anybody that's still watching. You are awesome, the fact that you're still here. So thanks to the crew for making all this work as good as we could get it to work today. For the folks that have submitted questions and entered the drawing, thanks for that. Thank you, everybody. I look forward to seeing you again on April 7th with a code word for the sweepstakes. Phillip, everybody, have a wonderful day. Thank you so much for watching.
Thanks, JR.
It's time to go. Find out where we've been. I guess it's all the same. Living in a dream. It's 10 o'clock in the morning now. There's no time left for play. I guess it doesn't matter though. We never play much anyway. I guess it's time to go. To find out where we've been. I guess it's all